Hello mortals, it is I, Rainhet. Did the lack of hoys hurt your little kokoro? I sure hope so. It's a little weird to split the armature and weight paint sections of this video, but I think this will make it more searchable and digestible. Just like my intro. How to add an armature to your model. Everything I taught you about armatures 2 years ago is no longer valid. I want you to take that information, wrap it up in toilet paper, and flush it down the loo. Treat it like how you treat your least favourite sibling, and only be nice to them when you want something in return. Throw your whole armature away and pay close attention. I got a hold of full body tracking and my whole life flipped on its head. Do you know what 2 years of rigging does to you? To be less dramatic, you don't have to throw your whole armature away, but it will have to go through a handful of changes. Welcome to... You know what? You're not welcome. Have you watched my rigging basics video? If you haven't, leave. Go away. Watch that video, because this is going to be very, very quick. Right. Armature. I'm going to go fast, so try to keep up. Armature, single bone. I want it at 0, 0, 0. I want to make sure it's definitely 0. We go to, here, object properties, viewport display in front, and wire. We'll change display as from texture to wire. You can also go to object data properties, viewport display, and check in front there. We're not going to do that just now. Right, armature, we'll go to edit mode, scale this down. GZ. We want to grab the tail, which is thin apart, and start extruding E, Z. So it snaps E, Z, E, Z, E, Z. Again, Shift A to make a bone out of nowhere. Scale this down. You can grab it, start it here at the collar, a bit lower, like this middle-ish point. Grab that, put that there. E, E, E. Right, let's click that, shift, click this bone, control P, keep offset. Now it's parented to the chest bone, but let's name them. So we'll go to bone properties, we'll start with the hips, spine, chest, neck, head. We'll do the left shoulder. We'll do an underscore because programs like putting them in for us by default, so we'll just do that. This is the left arm, my bad. Keep things looking nice. Left underscore elbow. Left underscore wrist. Right, let's do this a slightly different way. Let's extrude from here. Click on that bone, go to relations and disconnect it. We'll put that about here. Let's go from the top view. Ooh, I almost forgot. We need to line this up. GY. Let's put that about there. Right, when it comes to this arm placement area, we want to bend the elbow backwards. So let's just bring this forward a little bit, bring this backwards a little bit. G, Y. It doesn't have to be far, just enough for it to be noticeable. GUI. Okay, let's do the top view. Put these bones in the right place. G, start at the knuckle, end at the first bend. Shift D to duplicate. Shift D, Shift D, and again, Shift D for the thumb. But the thumb starts in the hand. It'll move a lot better, trust me. Let's put this about here. Okay, so we'll name this thumb 0_L. There's lots of different ways to name these that is valid and will be recognized, but let's just do it this way for now. So we have index_finger 0_L. Middle_finger_L. Oh wait, finger 0_L. Okay. Ring_finger 0_L. And here, little_finger 0_L. Okay, so let's start extruding. So E and E. Oops, E and E. E, 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 E. Now at this point, let's fix the numbers because they're a bit off. All right, let's start with the thumb. Thumb 0. This will be thumb 1. Go to the end and delete this all the way to the underscore. We have this over here. This will be thumb 2. And all the way to the underscore L. 0, 1, 2. Yeah, this will be 0, this will be 1, 1, and underscore 0, 2, and underscore 0, 1, 2. Right, if you haven't guessed from things already, that you do have to click enter every time you edit something. So make sure you click enter afterwards. I do want this to be mostly straight, and these as well. Just S, scaling the Y. SY. This just straightens things out. The fingers aren't perfectly straight, as you can see. Let's come forward a little bit, and this one too. This is mostly straight, this is straight for the most part. That needs to be edited a little bit, and this is also straight for the most part. Right. That's where it's going to start getting a bit messy. We want to match these to all the knuckles, so let's go to lasso select. I'm going to save. Hide these with H. We'll bring this up. Use that. That about there, that's about there. I'm putting the bone in this area here, where the knuckle is. This is a bit hard to see, but I'm going to give it a bit of a guess, and I hope it's reasonable. Yeah, this is pretty hard to see. Alt H, I'm going to hide these. Go to the front view, bring these down. Okay, this is about here, this is about here, this is about here. Let's bring this back to let's start this in here a little bit. Hopefully it bends better. This will be at the elbow. There seems reasonable. Here. Okay. And these should all be named too. Let's do the legs. And also save. We're doing Shift A again, so Shift A. R 180. Bring that out. This is going to stop about here-ish. About. This should be straight as well. So the X of the head and tail should be the same. Let's put the roll at 0. E. Put this about here. Here and here. Okay, so let's see the X view. GY. This will be the little toe. GY. This needs to go forward quite a bit, but get this in a reasonable place for now. Right, this, going to shift, click on this, Control P, keep offset, and look at the side view. This should be a straight line. Let me hide these with H. Put 3. This should be a straight line basically. So we'll click this whole bone, the whole one, and GY. We want this to be the tiniest bit behind the start. GY. The more behind it is, the more this will start bending in ways you don't want it to. So we won't do that. The knee. GZ, we're going to try here, and hopefully that looks alright. Not, maybe even bring it back the tiniest bit. GY, let's put this here. This might change, but it's fine if it does. Okay, we need to name it. Let's Alt H. We'll do left underscore leg. Left underscore knee. Left underscore ankle. And the little bone at the end, left underscore toe. Get to bring this across, GX. Bring this on to GX. Right, let's actually take the roll off this. So put that to 0. Put this to 0, 2. I hope this is facing in a reasonable direction. We'll select this and select this. I'm just shift, so I'm lassoing, but you know, shift to select more than once. Armature, symmetrize. Okay, that's the first part of the armature. Now let's check all the bone rotation axes and such. So we'll go to Object Data Properties and check axes. We'll see what's pointing where. The most important thing we need to look at is the Z. The Z is importante. Let's go to Edit Mode. We want this to kind of flow a bit nicer, so if that's pointing out, let's either have this pointing up or down. Let's turn on symmetry now, so whatever I do to this should be mirrored right. Let's put the back on 60. And this, currently at 0. This one doesn't really matter too much. Control R. Let's just have it like that for now. These are facing forward, which is not terrible. Let's do that then. Let's just hit L, just like linked, Control R. Put these more upwards facing. It doesn't have to be perfect. These we want to have the Z facing up, so let's just select these, Control R, them facing this way. These Control R, make them go out a little bit. These Control R and go out a little bit. These to be facing the, like, a bit more like this. It's like pointing away from the middle. Okay. Let's hide the axes for now, just because they can sort of get in the way. Let's E, Y, click on this bone. We want to go to bone, relations, and uncheck connected. Should be able to move freely now. 1, GX. I want to put it about here. Should be middle of the pupil-ish. E, Z. I want to click this. Also disconnected, GY. But this will be Control, whoops, this Shift, click, Control P, keep it offset. So these are both from the head. This is going to be a lot smaller. We're going to put this about here. We'll probably need to edit it later. This bone I use to hold the pupil in the head. So that's technically not how it works, but that's what I call it. So I just call this left underscore hold. And this one I usually use to rotate the pupils. So left eye. You could also just do left eye without the underscore, but you know, we're going to use underscores this time. Some programs do like using this bone on the pupil, so just bear that in mind when you're rigging stuff. Okay, let's armature symmetrize. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. What else do we have to look into? The hair. Let's do the hair. We have the head. Let's E, Z, grab this. Relations, uncheck, GZ, scale that down. This will be the hair root. Hair underscore root. The thing is with hair, you might want to separate it into two if you have short sections and long sections. They'll be affected differently by physics, but since her hair's all short, we're just going to connect everything to the root. Let's E. Let's just do this and uncheck it. Grab that. Put that in the front. This will be the fringe. Fringe A. Let's just do this fringe capital A. We'll do the left side of the fringe and the right side of the fringe. But we're not going to name it left and right because we don't want the weight paint to be exactly the same. So we want the movement to start about here, and let's have like a chunky movement. Shift D, bring this out here. Shift X about here. GX, GX. The more I look at it, the lower I want to bring it. Need more bones. Shift D. We'll have this move a lot more. But we'll also have it somewhat chunky movement. So we have A, we'll call this B, and we'll call this C. Now, because everything else is more or less symmetrical, we'll mirror the rest. Let's just Shift D this. G. We'll call this fringe underscore L. Underscores and left and dot L is how you get things to symmetrize. It has to be one of those three things. This should be reasonable. There. Shift D. Going to grab that, put that there. GY. Just remember, when you're putting bones in the hair, you have to consider where it's going to bend. Since I want this to start moving from the middle, I'm putting this at the middle instead of higher up. This will start bending from about here because it will be a gradient, which is fine. So this is fringe L, this is fringe, no, we'll call this side B for sideburns underscore L. And this could do with some more bones, to be fair, but no, it won't hurt. So let's just Shift D, put this here. This seems to be in a reasonable position. Right, so we want to symmetrize this. So we'll grab these, we'll grab these sideburns, we'll grab this armature, symmetrize. There we go. Because it's been all titled correctly, it gave no issues. This, however, I want to bring across. There's also a cute thing that I like adding. Well, a couple of cute things that I like adding, so let's do that. We'll do Shift A to make things easier. Where is it? Oh, I didn't press Shift A. Shift A. S. I'm gonna make this Ahoge move a little bit. We'll name this Ahoge. Got this. We'll Control P on the keep offset on the hair root bone. What else do we have? We have this that I like doing. Shift A. S. We'll do a root for this. Bone, nose, root, and E. Call this nose. Okay, I'm not sure if it's, no, it's not 0, 0. We'll put it about here. This will be, we'll click on this, Shift, click on this, Control P, keep offset, copy to the head. Now where is my nose? Right, let's go to the bones. We'll have the X at 0, this X at 0, for both the head and tail. This one, that needs to be 0, 2. Okay, brilliant. Is that all the bones? Yes, let's go to object mode. We'll go to object data properties and we'll check axes. And these will all show up. And we want to have everything facing in a reasonable direction. So we'll do that. Let's check the nose. Those are both facing down. That's fine. That's fine. There's no problem with this facing down. The other option is to have it facing up. I'm going to leave those be for now. Those are facing down. Which direction is this facing? Forward. That's also fine. These we want to be facing either inward or outward. And when I say facing, I mean the Z axis. So these are going inward. Let's check from the top view. That is pointing inward. This is pointing sort of inward. So let's just Control R and make it a bit more accurate. This, Control R. Whoops. Control R. You can also just follow these lines, these dotted lines. Control R. This should be Symmetrize. Control R. There we go. It's mirroring this one. Control R. Control R. Purple facing either to the center or outward. So these, let's just last them. Control R. Now what is this? Oh right. Let's bring this forwards. GY. Bring this backwards. Also, bringing this up so it can bend at a reasonable point. Okay, let's just manually do this. Control R. These bones should be facing in a reasonable manner. I used to just calculate bone roll and leave it at that. This should be okay. Also, you don't need a lot of bones in the hair. This could be split into 3 parts. This section, this middle section, and the back section. Could even be mirrored. As we start rigging this, things might need to be changed, but that time will come when the time comes. This should be all fine, and these should all be named properly too. You know what I forgot to say? Actually parenting things to the armature, we should do that. Let's go to object mode. We have the pupils, the mouth, head, all this stuff. So let's sort these out. Everything that's not needed is currently hidden. So this Bezier circle that I did for the hair, hidden. These references, hidden. These, let's not have them as curves. So object. Ooh, actually before I do that, let's go here. Let's get rid of these. Then object convert to mesh. Then we'll add the subdivision and the mirror back. Okay, and just keep going. Get rid of this, object convert, mesh, add the subdiv back. And that seems to be the 2 of those. Right, so we have this. Control click on the mouth, head, all of these, all the way to the top. And finally, click on the armature. Control P, armature deform. For the joke of it, let's deform with automatic weights. Just for the sake of it. Just to see what happens. For experiment's sake. I'm going to teach you how to rig this in the next video. Control P with automatic weights. I forgot to do this. Control P with automatic weights. Let's see what happens when we do this. Okay, cats. Start pose mode. Arm. Not terrible, but now the hair is attached to it. Torso. Not terrible. Legs. Not ideal. Why is the belly button moving? Also not terrible. Yeah, this is pretty much what I thought would happen. This is awful. This is terrible. Righty, let's never do that again. File, revert, please. We'll just do this the normal way. Pupils. All these. I'm clicking control, by the way. Finally, the armature. Control P. Armature deform. That's what we want. Everything is now to the armature. We will have to go back and make sure everything's fine. Well, so you guys know this Blender file will be available on my Patreon, so if you're a Patreon, good luck with that. If you want to see more of my evil shenanigans, follow me on twitch.tv/Rainhet. You're guaranteed that I consider streaming at least twice a week. Maybe you'll be lucky and witness a sacrifice or two. You can also follow updates on Twitter and join the Gremlins on Discord. Remember to like, subscribe, support artists and creators, and tell your mom you love her. Because if you don't, I will. And then we'll fall in love. And then I'll put you up for adoption. Which you don't want, right? This series is brought to you by my Patreons, with special thanks to my grey clouds and grey skies, Eel Hee-Haw, Silent K, Soat, and Spud the Cat. See you in the next class. Farewell.